Well, you might remember, Stacey, this is a story that we first told you about last week, because this 100-year-old woman whose name we now know is Sophia Kaczan got up at 8:30 in the morning. She went to church like she did every morning. This was Bank Holiday Monday last week, and she was on her way to church. And she got to this street corner here, and she was attacked from behind, knocked to the floor, had her handbag stolen and suffered multiple injuries, one of which was a broken neck. But despite that, she managed to get up and make her way 100 metres or so down this road to the church that you might be able to just make out through the trees there. Last week, Derbyshire Police opened an investigation into robbery and assault. But now, Sophia Kaczan has died. 100 years of life ended after a moment of violence. Sophia Kaczan, known as Sophie, died just over a week after she was violently attacked in the street for her handbag. It was a crime that made headlines across the country. Stacia Fitzsimmons lived next door to Sophie, and they were incredibly close. She'd been to visit her in hospital and had seen her decline in recent days.
I had a feeling that she would have died, I had a feeling. Because I'd seen her on the Monday, and she had gone downhill. She was a wonderful woman. She was like a mother to me. She came over over Christmas, in the New Year, sat with us over the New Year and brought the New Year in. She used to go shopping for me, pick my prescriptions up for me. She's just a wonderful lady. It's just awful news, and I just think whoever it is, they need to be, well, words can't even say how I feel, what should be done to them.
It's unclear if Sophie died as a direct result of her injuries. A post-mortem will be carried out, but police said at the time it was a particularly nasty incident that targeted a vulnerable elderly woman who was unable to defend herself. It shocked those who lived in this community. This car dealership was waiting to find out where to send the money they'd raised. Now they've decided to donate it to the church instead.
Because from what I've read in the local press and heard on the radio, she lived for the church. She was going there on the day that it happened, so we feel that it would be quite apt for the money to go there. I just felt I'd had to do something. It's a bad world we live in. I don't want that lady dying and thinking that everyone's like that. We're not in Derbyshire. It's a one-off event, hopefully.
A 39-year-old man who was arrested last week has been released under investigation by Derbyshire Police, who are appealing for any witnesses.
Such an appalling case, Michael. How's the police investigation progressing?
Well, as I said at the end of my report there, police had arrested somebody. They have now been released under investigation. They are also looking for anyone who knows anything about a beige Seat Leon car that was seen in the area that morning and was found abandoned a couple of days later on Jackson Street in Stockbrook. The registration number, they say, is SL02KVZ. I think you can see a picture of that on screen now. Here's what the investigating officer told us earlier.
Is one of the most despicable crimes that I've been involved in and led. We've all got elderly relatives, and for this to happen to a lady who reached the grand age of 100, who'd had a life in the city of Derby, it is despicable, it is awful, and I'll do everything in my power to catch the person responsible.
I think you can see there, this is just one of those crimes that has shocked everybody who saw it, whether they live in the local area and knew Sophia or saw it online. And from speaking to people here, you just get that feeling that despite her age, she was 100 on the 9th of May, so not that long ago, she was still so full of life, and there's just shock that someone who was so full of life could have that life taken away in such a violent way.